Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good folks? What is happening? What is happening? What's up, Q? What's up, Chris 3K? Carlos, first out the limo. Ian Sr., what's going on, man? I'm not going to be with you long. We're going to roll for about a half an hour. I'm on my lunch break. You know how I get it in. Want to get you done so you can wash your hands, finish your sandwich, and get back to work. But I just wanted to go over some stuff that has people talking. Should the Eagles have played their starters? That seems to be the question on anybody's mind. It's Black Monday. You got coaches getting fired. I already put out a video about Kevin Stefanski getting fired in Cleveland. Different things like that. Oddly enough, they kept the coach in Cincinnati. I thought he would be fired, but he is not. And guess what? There is no guarantee that Joey Burrow is going to be back. I don't know. I got to look at his contract. Does he still have another year in Cincy? Because I know he got to be looking to get up out of there. I don't know. But in any case, this is about the Eagles and what's going on. Do you think that they should have played the starters? That's the question. That's the question. I wish they would have, but I understand why they didn't. I understand why they didn't. And it didn't bother me at all that we sat them because we should have won that game. That game came down yesterday to what happened with the bad play calling and whatever Kevin Bethula had schemed up just wasn't good enough. You had a running back that was gutting them, and you didn't want to let him carry the load when you should have. I don't know, just more of the. It was more the same. It was more the same, except it was just with our backups. And for the most part, Tanner McKee had a decent game in the air. I think he ended up with 240 or something like that. I forgot to look at the box scores. I'll look at it real quick, but it was a decent day nonetheless. But it was good enough to win. Let me say it like that. But we crashed and burned with some of those play calls. So it is what it is. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, so that's just the way that it happened. You know what I'm saying? So, trying to see Broncos. Come on now. There we go. Box scores. What did Tanner McKee have? Tanner McKee was. I got the wrong damn game. Oh, that's the Buffalo game. No wonder. Tripping. Well, he did all right. I ain't even gonna bother looking for it anymore. Yeah, man. It's just not. Oh, I didn't see that. Gannon got fired? Wow. Wow. I hadn't seen that yet. I hadn't seen that yet. So hey, Black Monday, man. Coaches' heads is getting lopped off. Heads is getting lopped off. I did not see the Gannon thing. That is new. That is new. Let's see what we got. But I saw Mike Carroll. Cards fire Gannon after 15 and 36. You know what? It doesn't seem like he was there that long. It doesn't seem like Jonathan Gannon was there long enough to have a 15 and 36 record. So that's what, 3 years, 4 years? Yeah, third year head coach. Is it that long ago? Wow. Wow. Listen, man, it goes to show you that there is merit into being a coordinator. Everybody wants to go up to the head man, and everybody ain't built for that life. Everybody's not built for that life. So just like as much as we say about Sirianni and how he goes about his business, Sirianni, and for a large part, it is the team around him. Every time I say Sirianni, my phone pops up like I'm saying Siri. But Sirianni is a situation where everything he's got the right ownership, he's got the right GM, and he got the right team, and it works for his personality. And that I have to give credit to Howie Roseman. But all of these guys, Stefanski, two-time head coach of the year, and when it mattered the most, he couldn't get it done because he was not on the same page as the ownership. They drafted. Now, I will say this: I don't know if Kevin Stefanski would have had his druthers, who would he have drafted? It wouldn't have been Shador, and it wouldn't have been Dylan Gabriel. So who would he have gotten? And would the result have been different? I don't know. So the Gannon thing, that's surprising. But hey, he had three years to try to get it together. It is supremely difficult, man, to win in this league, and people got to remember that. Sometimes your best way to make your mark is stand at coordinator. Now you are gonna get some people like D'Amico Ryans. You look at Robert Saleh. Looks like Robert Saleh might get another shot. And in my opinion, when Saleh was in New York, I think he got sabotaged by Aaron Rodgers because him and Aaron Rodgers didn't get along. At least that's what the optics were. But you do it the way you want to do it, because if you don't make it, they're gonna get you anyway. So the least thing you can do is make it worth your while. That's the least you can do. So back to Sirianni, I don't mind Sirianni doing that because the Eagles had an opportunity to win that game yesterday, and we lost for the same reasons. In my opinion, it had nothing to do with the starters not being in there. Would we have won with the starters in there? I do believe we would have. But after watching the San Francisco and Seattle game and how bodies was falling, Pittsburgh, bodies was falling, the Ravens, bodies was falling, I didn't even want to take that chance. So I'm good with that. And we get a home game. San Francisco got to come to us next Sunday at 4:30, right at the link. So I'm good with that. Do I wish we would have got that second seed? Absolutely. But we didn't. And guess what? We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to do what we're going to do. The Rams got to go to Carolina. San Francisco has to come to us. I forget where Chicago's playing. But yeah, we got what we got, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. On to the next one. So right now, I was saying this last night a couple times, we are in the playoffs. Point, period, end of paragraph. So whatever our issues were with Patullo, with Sirianni, with Hurts, with AJ, with anybody, with the defense, with Keely Ringo. Well, Keely Ringo, let's put him to the side. That's a whole nother conversation. But we are here. Chicago and the Packers, thank you. Chicago can win that game, but it all depends on who started for the Packers. So George Kittle, ain't George Kittle banged up a little bit? But don't get it twisted. George Kittle just talk like that. That is not somebody you want going across the middle because he's going to catch the ball. My thing with San Francisco is who's starting. Is Brock Purdy 100%? Like all that type of stuff. Because guess what? He going to run around and he going to make people miss just like he did with the Bears. So, but we got a little bit better defense than that. So, but rest assured, what do you think San Francisco is going to do this week? They're going to watch the film of the Bears and how they gutted us in the run game because CMC is going to be licking his chops. So Vic Fangio's got to have these boys ready to play. And we have got to get support from our offense. Keep the defense off the field for a little bit, please. Please, please. So this is what it is. This is what it is. Carlos, I'm with you, man, but we got to get it. I believe we have the better team. I believe we can get it done. We just got to get it done. Like I don't want to have another game, win or lose, and we talking about, man, what why didn't we do this? Why didn't we run Tank Bigsby at all in the fourth quarter? Like we can't have them type of questions, man. We got to be on top of our game because, or we're going to be on that Jet 2 holiday in Cancun. So it's all good. What's up, Dave Money? Um, Jordan Love should be back. Okay. Okay. But I think we should be the favorite because San Francisco just has a lot of injuries. But um, this is you got to get it together, man. There's no more. We can't have no more. We ran the ball just because we got to run the ball. We can't have no more of that. Like you got to have a purpose in what you're doing, and you got to be able to read the room on the fly. You got to be able to recognize where the weak points are in San Francisco's defense and exploit them. San Francisco got held to 3 points the other day. I need to know how that was done. I will be watching film of that game. I need to know how that was done. So that's the mindset that I'm pretty positive that the Eagles are going to take, especially Vic Fangio. So no more prevent offense. Somebody going to make T-shirts about that to prevent offense, man. So yeah, listen, he been here 5 years and learned nothing. Listen, I keep saying this all the time. It's not about what you know. Okay? It's not about what you know. Think of it like this. Think of whatever you do on your job. Whatever you do on your job. And your supervisor comes to you and says, you got to train this person. Because they're going to be working next to you, or they're going to be working, doing the same thing, but in a different city, or whatever the situation is, whatever the scenario is. You got to train this person, and you pour into that person, and you teach them every trick, every little thing that you know, because you're trying to set them up to be successful. However, when they get into the real, when they step into the fire and experience it coming at you in real time, they don't always function. And they forget what they're supposed to do, and they can't remember the things that you taught them and the shortcuts, and because that's just the way that it is. They only learn that over time. Oh, I remember she told me to do this. Oh, I remember he told me to do that. He told me to go over there. She told me to do this first and talk to that person first before I start this. Then they remember the little intricacies, but it has to go through time, and they have to take their lumps. Very few people come in knowing everything. Very few people do that. Come in and they just light it up right off the bat. And then if you do light it up right off the bat, there is such thing as a sophomore slump, because that just means that people have time to prepare for you, or you come across a situation where there are some other things that came across your way that you weren't prepared for, you've never seen before. That's just the nature of the beast. So all of these super high profile, on everybody's list coordinators and coaches, when they go to a different place, it don't always work out the same. So you got to be careful with what you got. I want to get another offensive coordinator. I don't think Kevin Patullo should come back. However, whoever we get in here has to be better than he is. And that is not always easy. Because now we got to give our quarterback another offensive coordinator. So there's pluses and minuses and everything, and you got to deal with it. And some of these coaches and people that are getting fired, you know me, y'all act like y'all the smartest people in the room, and you are not. And the guys that come out ahead when it comes to coaching and being a GM and things like that, when they realize that they aren't the smartest people in the room. Find somebody that does what you want to do better than you. Let them work. Let them work. We had a rule when I was coaching football. When I was coaching the kids, shout out to my buddy Glenn Leary, the guy I coached with for 9.5 years. When something happened, because his kid was the quarterback for a couple of years. And that's always that could be a spicy situation. So we had a rule. If he was pissed off at his kid, he would kind of come over to me and say, Coach, I need you to lay into him because I can't do it. And that's what I would do. And it was the psychology thing. And It can't look like he's favoring his kid and all of that kind of stuff. So when it was time for me to let him have it, I let him have it. Sometimes he didn't have to tell me, but I understand the method to the madness, and it worked. And that lets everybody know nobody's exempt. That's the biggest problem with these teams right now. That's the benefit that we have right now with Vic Fangio. I don't know what's going on with Jeff Stoutland and why Brett Toth is still backing up Cam Jurgens at center. I don't know what's going on with that. But Vic Fangio has proven that he wants the best people to play, and when they don't, he gets them out of there. That's your only recipe for success. You have to make sure that you got the best player on the field at a position. And I would say 85 to 90% of the teams do not do that. And the reason they don't is because they live in life by the contract. If you paying this guy $8 million a year, you got to play him, even though that undrafted free agent is better than he is. So there are a lot of teams that are sacrificing what's best for the team because they got to fulfill a contract and they got to pay this guy. So if I'm going to pay him, I'm going to play him. And back in the day, the old school coaches, the Jimmy Johnsons, the Bill Parcells, they didn't go for that. Bill Parcells was notorious for having his guys. And wherever he went, he would bring some of his guys because they did things his way, and he knew his way worked. And those guys could teach the young players coming in. One of my teammates that I played with in college, Myron Guyton. Myron Guyton is, I think I got this stat right. Myron Guyton was one of 2 rookies to ever start for Bill Parcells. Won a Super Bowl with him with the Giants. I had him on my podcast, I think well over a year ago, but he talked about that. It ain't too many rookies that started for Parcells. He was one of them. But that's just a guy knowing what he's supposed to do. I look at that like a situation with Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship was starting as a rookie because not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, but he was always where he was supposed to be on the field. And if you put Reed Blankenship anywhere else in the league, he's on the bench. He's a backup player. But because he was here with the right coaches, they recognized what he could do, and he made plays when he had to make plays. Y'all know one of my favorite sayings. Sometimes you ain't got to make the play to make the play. And that's what guys like Reed Blankenship, guys like Zach Bond. Look at Zach Bond down there. Why did Zach Bond slip through New Orleans? People in New Orleans got to be kicking themselves. Because what did their linebacker play look like this year? Or last year? So how do people like that slip up? Yeah, it's wide open, but the thing about that is, and one thing you can't forget, it's all about money. They say that, but a lot of people don't mean that. Because one of the things that they don't talk about, I know they didn't talk about it in the press conference, and only if you're in Cleveland do you understand the environment that they are in. That dude just signed off for a brand new sports complex for the Cleveland Browns. So they got a lot of tickets to sell and executive suites and all of that kind of stuff. And guess who's the number one merch seller in the NFL? The rookie named Shedeur Sanders. You mean all of a sudden everybody's buying number 12 jerseys? People are buying Cleveland Browns gear? Number 1 in the league? What? That's going to end up being a business decision. Fortunately for the Cleveland Browns, if they play their cards right, they bring somebody in that can coach the kid up. They'll bring somebody in that can help that offensive line, and they can give them more than, 2.01 seconds to throw the ball. Half the time, that offensive line was god-awful. And he didn't even have time to throw. But my point is that it probably is an open race. But he's got to be the leader in the clubhouse to be QB1 next season. Why wouldn't you do that? And I said this before, because if the third round pick, Dylan Gabriel, if he performed like Shador Sanders did, there would be no question. Let's keep it a buck. So a lot of people want Kevin Stefanski to come here. A lot of people want the Eagles to go after Kevin Stefanski as an offensive coordinator. But now you get to the other problem. We're in the playoffs. We can't hire and fire nobody. We ain't going to do that right now. Not while we're in the midst. We got to wait until we're done. And if things go our way, we're not going to be done until February, which is after a lot of people have already made their decisions. So we kind of stuck with whoever we got left. The last two major coaching hires were the same way. When we fired Doug Peterson, we ended up with Nick Sirianni. Because if we would have fired Doug Peterson on a Black Monday, and we would have been in the race for all them other head coaches, Nick Sirianni would not have been hired here. And maybe we don't win the Super Bowl. So, it's one of those weird things, man, where you gotta. I think Kevin Patullo is out, but that's going to be Sirianni ain't gonna make that move. That'll be a Howie Roseman move, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. So, but we'll see. We shall see. But in any case, I just want to get up. Lord Vaughn, you still mad about that Super Bowl performance, huh? I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Oh, that one freaking fumble, man. That one fumble and that damn punt return. That killed us. That killed us. Jalen made up for the fumble, but that punt return late in the game, that hurt my feelings right there. So, yeah, we almost at 25 minutes. So, yeah, I just wanted to go through some of that stuff. Yeah, Miles, did he fumble twice? I know he fumbled the one time. I know he took a hit in the Super Bowl and was no more good after that. So we couldn't run the ball. So kind of like the same problems. You know what I'm saying? So, but Jalen was just so good, distributing the ball, getting it around, taking the long shot, the dagger to Devontae, hitting AJ Brown across the middle late, and him getting in. It was just working. Jalen was in the zone and seeing things and moving. Yeah, and you couldn't stop us. And then, of course, the defense was doing what the defense did. 2 picks, one with a pick 6 against Mahomes. It's exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed. I wish Sirianni wouldn't have got all tight and took the starters out. He trying to be nice to everybody like, no, and I'm with Jalen. Man, I wanted Jalen to put 50 on them jokers. I wanted to keep moving. I wanted to demoralize them. Because everybody talks about, at that point, everybody was talking about Kansas City like they was unbeatable. I wanted to put 40 and 50 on them. And when we took the starters out and they scored them 2 touchdowns, I was mad. I was hoping that the defense was going to get a goose egg. So sometimes stuff like that makes me mad with Sirianni. Like even in the game the other day, it's 4th down. We in field goal. We like at the 28-yard line. Kick the freaking field goal and take the points. We trying to win. You ain't trying to prove a point. We trying to win. Washington was trying to prove a point because they ain't got nothing to lose. We trying to improve our position. And you kick that field goal, we make it, it's a different outlook. You got to do things differently. It's not the same. So, but it is what it is. That's water under the bridge now. I saw that episode what Nick Foles said he would if they called him. I think Nick Foles would be a pretty decent offensive coordinator, but he got to get his feet wet. He got to get his feet wet first. I'm not real big on people just coming in and doing a Jeff Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So that no, I'm not good with that. So um, I don't know. I think Nick Foles would be a good OC. But you gotta. It's one thing to say it from a podcast. It's another thing to do it when you got things moving in real time. So I believe he has the mind for it, but in my opinion, it would probably take him a couple years before he could get used to the speed, not the speed of the game, but just how different it is on the sideline with a headset on and hoping people do what you ask them to do. Hoping the defense does what y'all been studying on tape. That's a different form of pressure. That's why everybody can't do it. It's different. Look at it like if you ever been in a hot air balloon, if you've ever been on the top floor of a building, when you're looking down on the street, that perspective is a lot different than you being on the street and everything's going by you like this. You got a bird's eye view and you can see things a little bit clearer, and you say, okay, I see what he's doing. The perspective is, I would like to see somebody like Nick Foles in the booth with the headset on, like, hey, this is what I saw. That's where I would like to see Nick Foles. Because the quarterback's perspective in that situation would be invaluable, in my opinion, because he's used to reading defenses. He's used to knowing what the defense is going to do, their tendencies, and well, this is what they did on film. Oh, it looks a little different, but they running the same stuff. Quarterbacks can decipher all of that type of stuff. So I want a quarterback in the booth that can radio down and talk to everybody. So I wouldn't be opposed to Nick Foles coming on the squad for something like that. But I like Eric Bieniemy. I would love to see him get the opportunity. But we'll see. We'll see. We got to get through and finish what we got to finish first. That's most important. That's most important. We got to handle our business first. So, but all right, my time is up. I got to get back to it. Got to clock back in. So yeah, man, just want to talk to y'all on my lunch. That was a good one too, man. That was a good one. Now's the time where I need more time and I ain't got it. So, all right. And by the way, I just figured out how to do lives on TikTok now. Got some things squared away. I'm still a rookie with TikTok, but I will be doing more TikTok content this year. So I'm figuring out a way how to do it both. So I tell people all the time, follow me on TikTok, Coach Marcus06, and obviously right here at Pro Fan Talk. So I'm gonna be up out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Go Birds.